Hey, welcome to Musings episode number 333. Yes, I'm back!
Welcome back.
Back in the D. Yay! Welcome to Detroit. Got to fly home first class last week. I love getting upgrades.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah. I had a crappy breakfast, though, because I was not thrilled with that. They changed it up. Last time I flew first class, which is only a couple times I've flown now. I had a great breakfast. This time they was like, oh, it's a bowl. I was like, oh, I'll try that. I was like, So, but didn't cost me anything extra because I went gold, and this will be my last upgrade, I'm sure, because I won't hit gold next year. And then, hopefully I should hit silver for sure, and then so I can still get my 2 bags I like through Delta and all that.
Yeah.
Stuff. But so we'll see. It's one of those things. It's people talk about maximizing money and stuff like that, and trips and things like that. And tell you what, best thing I found is you pick which can work best for you, either airlines or hotels, or even just overall rewards, and go with that and use that card all the time. People are like, well, I'm like, just get in the habit of paying it off every week, or heck, every day when you charge something, go right away if it had been a debit card and send a payment in. I sometimes have 20 or 25 payments in a month on my credit card. So
yeah, I do similar. I got some reward cards I use, and I go in once a week. I sign in and just pay off everything that was done that week. So I charge my living expenses, food, gas, whatever. And you might as well do it, because if you don't, these companies have fees they pay to the credit card companies. They're assuming everybody's using credit cards, so they're working it into their pricing.
Yep.
These fees. So if you're paying cash, you're not getting the benefits. You're paying for a credit card use in the pricing. But
oh yeah, the only time you see a discount, and it's not really much, it's sometimes different gas stations, but the ones I use are all the ones where cash and credit are the same. And a lot of times they're the same price as all those places that charge pay for cash. So it ends up like, I'm like, yeah, I'd rather get benefits points. It's like through Ship, they started a new thing called a Summit Star, and when you maintain certain levels of your ratings and all that stuff, and how you do orders, being on time, you get stuff every 2 to 3 months. And one of the things is they use that Upside. I don't know if you've ever used Upside for gas.
I've heard of Upside. Yeah,
I'll send you a link if you want to check it out. That way, if you use it, I get a little bonus and you get a bonus too.
Cool.
And but I don't use it very often unless it pops up automatically. I don't go hunting, because I found that with that Upside, many of the places I go to that say they get a discount, I can actually get it cheaper than what their discount is. Because what it is, it's a credit back they give you, and then you can have it as a gift card. You can have it transferred to PayPal or whatever. But for Shipped, they do a thing where you get 2 fill-ups at 75 cents off a gallon. So basically, you end up getting that as money back. So I always wait until I get my tank almost empty, go fill it up, and I've got banked right now about $40 in there just to use that. And it cost me nothing extra, and I didn't go there just for that discount. I went to knowing it was a place that I could, it's a Speedway near my house, and I get whatever offers they're offering off, and if it's a good price, usually have a pretty good price there versus going to somewhere else. I can usually get a little cheaper at like Costco and Sam's. The problem is usually I'm going to work, they're just off the beaten path enough that time wise I'm like, I'd save maybe $1 or $1.25 total.
Yeah.
It's not worth that much time to get off the highway or fight some of the construction that's out that way. So
for me, one of the best values for me, in my opinion, is for Costco. So I've got the Costco membership, and I got their city Costco card.
Yep.
Which I earn money back, cash back. So once a year, they pay me back the lump sum of what I've earned throughout the year. But so with Costco, their gas is naturally low compared to most places anyways.
Yep.
Like the other day I paid $2.88 and it was like $3.20 at other places. So right there, I'm saving like 32 cents or so a gallon.
Hey, a fair 10-gallon fill up, that's $3.20.
Right. But then on top of it, I use my Costco Visa card. I earned 4% cash back on that purchase. So that's another 11 cents per gallon on my $2.88. So that I'm really saving like 45 cents a gallon when all is said and done by going there. And that adds up through a year.
Oh yeah. And again, it's all about, I tell you, it's all about figuring out which works for you. I used to use most of the time was a Marriott card because I did a lot of hotel stays when we were traveling more. We've switched up a lot of when we do travel to where, like for the shows, we're staying at more Airbnbs, which I kind of like a lot better. I like the comfort of being in an apartment or a house somewhere. It's really nice. So I switched it up for the airlines. And I got both Southwest and Delta, but since COVID especially, Delta's been the better one for times. Pricing has not been much difference. The only benefit Southwest had was you got 2 bags, but now that I've gone silver the last few years, at least, I get 2 bags anyways.
This would be a good topic maybe in January. We do an inflation buster episode where we talk about the different little things,
I think we'll do that. It sounds like a good first of year thing. And I was just thinking about that because it's like all these little perks you get, and it's funny. I do get people, and we'll talk about this more in left. This that will tell me like, oh, I only use cash because I don't want to be tracked. You're being tracked, especially if you earn money. If you get paid from an outside source, they know how much money you've got, and it's like you said, the stores and everything else have already built in their fees.
Yeah, money's an illusion, anyways.
Yeah, well, it is. It is, and it always
it's a
has
note.
been.
It's not even cash.
Yeah. So
money died when they got off the silver certificate and gold standard, the silver and gold standards.
Yep, that was back during Nixon. So
yep. But so let's dive into it. We got quite a show today.
Yeah. We got to catch up on a few things, but I think we should start off with some ads. So why don't you go ahead and take care of an ad read for us?
All right. Team Titans Real Estate. Why? Because you matter. That's right. Even though we utilize the latest in tools and technology to maximize your home buying experience, we never forget at its core, it's a people business, and we take care of our people. Thank the Lord, we are doing really well this year. This is a record year for Team Titans. Jill and I have been really cranking it out, even though industry-wide, I've read around 30% seems to be the number as far as how much things have dropped overall. So what's the secret to our success? It's you guys. It's we treat our customers well. We do a great job. They recognize it and they come back to us, use us again, and they recommend us to their friends and family. And they only do that if they liked the service they got. So we really give our all for you guys. We have a couple listings for this time of year. Things usually slow down. We have 3 listings coming up over the next couple weeks here. One should be going live this Friday. We were out doing professional photos and drone photography, things like that yesterday. So we're just, cranking it out there. And 2024 is looking good. Our pipeline is really solid for the first quarter of next year. So we're expecting we're hoping and praying we're going to be even better than our record-breaking year this year. But give us a call, 586-232-5144. And the consultation is no charge to you, no commitment. So give us a call. Even if you're out of state, if you're not in Michigan, give us a call. We have a great relocation department that has a nationwide network of agents. And if you don't know somebody in your area, give us a call. And depending on your criteria of what you're looking for, our relocation department will hook you up with an agent who specializes in the budget, the area, the type of houses that you are looking for.
There you go. And then we also have Loringer Family Chiropractic Center, PC, located in Belleville, Michigan, and Dexter, Michigan. They take great pride in providing the finest chiropractic care to each and every patient, offering on-site digital x-rays, orthotics by foot levelers, young living, essential oils, aromatherapy, full line of vitamins, all in a family-oriented environment. Give them a call, 734-697-4244. You can also visit them on Facebook. Just look up Loringer Family Chiropractic Center, PC, and they will take great care of you.
Awesome.
Yeah. So I was gone last week. We did our annual Christmas Universal trip. Had a great time. Went and met the Grinch. Rode some rides. Did a bunch of the shows. Had some great weather. Enjoyed some food. And it was a nice, relaxing time away to kind of recharge the batteries a little bit. Get ready for the holidays here, and then kind of get things a lot after the year's been. It's been a good year, but it's also been just one of those years where I feel like I've been going the last several months. And even though it's another trip, it's a trip away from the world, and I enjoy that because then I just tune out everything, come back like, okay, I'm ready to go again. So
recharged your batteries.
Pretty much, yes. So it was a lot of fun. We had a great time. Mom enjoyed it. I was gonna see if I can pull up a couple quick pictures here on the Facebook. Because we like I said, we met the Grinch and here's a good one. I'll just share that one. That's an old one. Never mind that. So the
Grinch.
There we go. This big one. This is Mom and I. I'll share this one. And so this was us at Seuss Landing, getting ready to go meet the Grinch. Got our Grinch shirts on.
Nice.
So kind of, it was 82 degrees that day, I think, at least that. It was warm and wonderful, and we had sun every day and very little
Nice.
rain and everything else. I mentioned I've got to fly home. Nice thing about, like I said, Golden Gold is I got to upgrade first class, so it was a nice big seating area to come home in. Especially we had an early flight. We had a 6 a.m. flight. So we got home early and then got stuff taken care of. So got home, had to do some grocery shopping for ourselves because we had to get stuff for the house, pick up the dog, and go and do all kinds of fun stuff there. So, but other than that, I know Scott did a show last week about the true story of Christmas.
Yeah, I went through the Bible and talked about the actual biblical account versus what pop culture claims happened.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't mean it didn't happen, but it's just assumptions versus what's recorded, which is cool. But yeah, Christmas is coming, just 2 weeks away here. So
less than that now. We're down to like 12 days.
Yeah,
we're in the 12 days Christmas. There we go. But yeah, so, is this a weird year or is it just me? A lot of people say it's a weird year, but it's like boom, everything's. It's like there it is. It's like, oh, where did that come from?
I do think I am believing more and more in the conspiracy theory that something happened during COVID and we are in an alternate timeline or something. Time does not move the same, I swear, since COVID. How are we at the end of 2023?
I don't know. It's it just kind of came upon us again.
A year ago, like when I reference something that came out a year ago, in my mind, I'm talking about 2019. It's like the timeline stopped in 2020 somehow. So it's really bizarre. I don't get it.
See, I think what happened is this. They fired up the Hadron Collider, and I think that screwed up everything.
There are theories about a multiverse being created.
And things split up and went sideways and roundways and crossways and everything else. And I mean, it's like this, like, they're at 1984, going back to that. It's like, oh, March 21st, 1984, 20 years ago almost. Yeah.
There were theories that the whole world was going to be destroyed once that was fired up, all kinds of stuff.
I think it threw us into like I said, a crisscross alternate universe. So
yeah.
And that's so, but yeah, so we'll see.
So speaking of multiverses, I'll throw this in really quick. While you were gone, I went and saw the movie The Shift, which is a Christian-based film, but it deals with the multiverse. It's really cool. Basically, it takes the story of Job from the Bible, and it's a retelling of Job, but through this multiverse lens. And it's an interesting movie. The first 5-10 minutes is a little bumpy. I think they're trying to keep you off balance because they're shifting between different realities really quick. But so it's a little confusing. But after the first 5-10 minutes, you get into the flow. It's pretty cool. Long story short, the McDonough or whatever his last name is.
Yeah, I like him. He's a good actor.
Yeah. He's a major Christian actor. And according to him, he's actually been kind of blacklisted from Hollywood because he refuses to do intimate scenes on screen with women. And
I've read a couple articles about that with him.
Yeah, because he's married and he just doesn't want certain images out there in the public for his wife and his children to see. Yeah. So he's very strong with his convictions on what he is willing to do. And a particular show he used to be on, they knew these conditions. They hired him. And a couple seasons into the show, they decided, hey, we're going to have your character do all this stuff that he opposed, and he refused to do it. So he got let go from the show, and he hasn't worked mainstream since then. Yeah. But because of his faith, he's been getting involved with Angel Studios a lot and other studios that are putting out a lot of Christian content. This show, it's really cool. Talking about the shift as far as the multiverse, one of the entertainment complexes in this reality here is instead of going to movies like we do, you go to this movie theater and you get strapped in, and you get to watch all the alternate versions of yourself. So you can, and it's randomized. So you never know what version of yourself you're going to see. And you can see really nice things, bad things, all kinds of things, but you watch and people are hooked on seeing these other lives that they could have had. So it's an interesting concept. But it's worth seeing. The movie's done really well. They've expanded the number of screens they're on. And, if you like multiversal type stories, it's an interesting take on things. So I recommend that. So,
okay. Yeah. I have to watch for that.
Yeah, it was worth seeing. Like I said, it's different. The it's a
Oh, it
message of hope in the end.
looks
Through
like
the
it's
whole thing.
done almost 9 million total.
Yeah, that's like triple what the Marvels
It's
did, right?
it's in it's now in 2,400 theaters,
Mhm.
so that's quite a bit. I mean, because if you look at the number one film of the week was Boy and the Heron. That's a Miyazaki film. It did 12 million. Now the Shift this past weekend only did like 2 million, but still
Yeah,
over 2 weeks it was a 50% drop.
but and that also was Angel Studios does like a crowdfunding platform
Right.
where people can contribute and get in on. If you contribute certain amounts, you actually earn profits back and stuff. So they're a low budget film compared to Hollywood standards.
Right. I mean, they're not gonna. Yeah, I've been familiar with them because they've been around for a while. But yeah,
They also did the recent one with Jim Caviezel with the child trafficking. Um,
right. Yes, and that one, the studios and everything tried to, and theaters even tried to not show it. So,
right.
but yeah. So I was looking at the box office results for the weekend, see what was out because I hadn't really seen anything, and it was like, yeah, not much. I mean, the Marvels did 1.3 million. They know it's on the way out. It's not going to hit 100 million.
Well, and Marvel announced they're going to stop reporting on the Marvels too.
Yeah, they stopped that last week, so they're not even
Yeah,
talking about it anymore. They've stopped all ads. They've stopped all everything.
which is interesting because timing wise, a lot of people are going to have time to see movies during the holidays.
Yeah.
So there could be a bump, but they're not obviously not expecting it.
I don't think so. I think they're pulling it because of it probably won't last through the holidays. Just the fact that they have other stuff I think coming out that would be more important to them. Um,
How is this movie doing on your numbers there?
what's that?
Godzilla -1.
I want to go see this now. This
I do
looks,
too.
yeah, it's doing very well for what it is.
And it was only like a $15 million budget or something.
Yeah, and it's a Japanese film, so it's not. But it is at 25, almost 25.6 million here in the U.S. I believe this is just the U.S. that I'm looking at. It doesn't.
Yeah.
It's just domestic. Okay. It did almost 8.5. It did a little bit over 8.5 million this past weekend. That's only a 24% drop.
Yeah. And everybody I know who loves kaiju movies are raving about this. They like this better than the American Godzilla movies that have been coming out.
Yes, they said it's one of the best movies ever, and I believe it is in Japanese with subtitles.
I believe
so. It's not dubbed. Now the only other film that had a better percentage drop, which at 22%, was Trolls Band Together. It went from, and it's grossed 82 million. It dropped 22% from the week before, but it's been out for 4 weeks. So I mean, it's actually pretty good for being a 4-week drop.
Right.
The Beyonce film, her theater film, whatever, or they recorded her concert, is at 28.5 million. It dropped 75%.
I'm sorry, but Beyonce is the most overrated person in all of Hollywood.
Yeah,
I've said it. There,
I'm not a fan. I don't dislike her like her. She was great in the one Austin Powers movie,
but what has she
years
done?
ago. But other than that, it's just movie wise. Well, this is all just music. I mean, that's all she concentrates on. But she's got a solid fan base, and that's one thing is her fans are hardcore. Just like different, but I mean, it's like a lot of them out there. It's like I've heard some of her songs, and I think about Single Ladies is the only one I really know.
I liked her in Destiny's Child.
Yeah, Destiny's Child, they were good.
Yeah,
and
but I feel like people who are fans of hers aren't fans of her product; they're fans of the brand.
Well, I think that's true of a lot of places, a lot of these people and groups anymore. It's just like point. Not just her, like Lady Gaga. She's got a few songs I've liked. She had one, I forget what it was called. It was like a country type song. It wasn't the Shallow. Shallow was pretty good, but I'm over that one too because they played it way too damn much.
Yeah, they overplayed.
But she did this one I thought was her that was kind of like felt like almost like a country. It's fine, and she's got some talent, but a lot of her stuff I just never cared for. That's just my style in that, and I've seen her in a couple things acting wise. I think she's gotten better. She was good in the movie that Shallow came from. It Born? Was it? But it was Star is Born.
Star is Born. Yeah.
Yeah, she's done a couple other ones since then. I haven't really seen, but I've seen some clips. I'm like, okay, she looks really good in
that. The
that.
Gucci one was decent too.
Yeah, and she's got a new one out, I think, too. But so she's really trying to stretch in that. But I know for a while there, before she started doing the acting, she had all her hardcore fans, her little monsters, and I wasn't a big fan of her music, and I wasn't a fan of the way she handled her online presence too, because people, her little monsters got very vindictive to people, and she didn't put a stop to it. I remember there's a big thing between her and Sharon Osbourne. Sharon Osbourne was not happy with those people because they're a bunch of trolls,
right?
And that's but there's like movies, stuff like that. The Disney Wish not doing good, but I've heard that's just not very good. Good friend of mine, Eric, who's popped on here a couple times and said hi. He saw it and felt like the story was just all over the place. Like they just cobbled it together. Animation looked nice, but story wise was really horrible in that. So, but I think it's part of the problem we're running into is there's just a lot of stuff just not good out there. But yeah, I definitely want to go see the Godzilla -1.
Yeah, I want to go see that. I just didn't have the time this last week, but it's on my to-do list for this next week. So maybe we can talk about it next week.
Yeah, if I get a chance to go see it next week, I'm going to try to go see it. So
you mentioned the Disney Wish movie. If you're looking for something on Disney to watch at home for Christmas, I just came across this. I don't know if it's brand new or not. The Diary of a Wimpy Kid. They have these animated
just
1 hour episodes.
This just came out. They released it just this last week.
Me and Joe loved it. It was great. It was a fun story. The animation's really well done, and it's a feel good story. You get to the end. And
I like that they've gone animation with this versus the live action. I think it fits better for the stories where they come from. The books, the Diary of Wimpy Kid books. Yeah.
What's amazing though is with the animation, it's 3D animation, but they perfectly capture the drawing style, which is just stick figures.
They're doing the same book. They're doing the same thing the Peanuts did with that Peanuts movie a few years back, where it felt like the cartoon strip, but it was still that 3D animation.
Like it came to life.
Yeah, and that's what this looks like. When I haven't watched it yet, but I saw the trailer, I was like, "This looks good. I'll have to watch it."
It's worth seeing. It's very well done. And then I noticed while I was in there, they have other animated ones of Diary of Wimpy Kid.
Yes.
So it's not just the one. So
we're
going to watch the other ones.
Yeah. Another side note on Disney Plus, available now to purchase, and I pre-ordered mine through Amazon on Blu-ray, is the first 2 seasons in Steelbook of The Mandalorian. And these are the legitimate releases, not the bootlegs that have been on there forever.
Now, did you hear?
Steel.
Nice.
Actually, it's Beskar.
Yeah.
That's how they should have promoted it. It was Beskar, but it's not Beskar. So.
And I thought I saw a report. I don't know if it's legit. Let's see. I saw 2 days ago. So this is saying rumored. Mandalorian season 4 is rumored to be a movie.
Everything I've seen has been on the rumor sites. I've seen it a bunch of times. So I think it probably is getting close to being legitimate. I could see that happening. They probably want to wrap up this story, be done with that aspect.
And you probably only have so much time with the actors. So you got to wrap it up.
Yeah, and also with Pedro Pascal, even though he doesn't have to be seen, it's kind of one of those things where like, okay, it's time to. They kind of wrapped up a little bit with the last season. I think they're going to do it sounds like they're doing a season 2 of Boba. They're going to do a movie for Mandalorian, kind of just wrap all that up. And that's probably a season 2 of Ahsoka, I believe, has been renewed. I do know Andor's been delayed, but that doesn't tie into any of this. I think they're going to wrap up this Mandalorian era right now, per se.
Yeah.
Move on to the next step, which is because since Filoni's now the creative director, he's got more control over what can be done. And I think they're going to start building the new Star Wars universe of movies where they need to be at telling good stories. So,
and Sith Acolyte is still in the mix too, right?
Yeah, a lot of that stuff that's done is just going to come out and go away. Now I did see something the other day that kind of looked at it, but I can't confirm that supposedly casting is happening for Rey, and they're looking at an April start date for her new movie.
Yeah, but I think that's also rumors. I don't think that's...
and that's the thing. It's kind of one of those things where it's hard to tell if it's true or not. And I think it's still in that rumor mill. When Filoni starts sending stuff through socials about stuff, then I'll be believing.
Then I'll believe it.
Yeah.
Right.
So
I don't know how much of it is Kathleen Kennedy trying to hold on to her crumbling empire.
Well, they've already did. I mean, they put him in charge of the creative, but he still has to financially report to Kathleen Kennedy. But it sounds like that they're going to give her a way to gracefully walk away. So I don't know if you do this. Kevin says hi. Hey, Kevin.
And then I heard another report. I'm trying to find it. Captain America 4.
Yes.
I heard the screenings have started and they're bombing. Have you heard that?
Had not heard anything on that.
Let's see if I can find a report on it. It's going, here we go. This was from MSN.com. Let me share this.
Because I mean, we're still a year and a half away from it coming, or almost a little bit over a year away. It's February 2025.
So there's tons of reshoots are scheduled, and it says Captain America 4 will likely face same fate as the Marvels. And they're talking about how the early screenings are just really bad, and extensive reshoots are being done and all that stuff. So there's no reason for this. He's great as Captain America.
Mm-hmm.
They've established the character very well. His past as Falcon. This should not be difficult, other than Disney constantly trying to put their spin on things instead of staying true to what these characters are.
Yeah.
And now we got Aquaman coming out. That's going to bomb. No, who wants Aquaman?
Well, here's the thing, though, and nobody does. It's going to bomb. Now, here's this. This is from Yahoo, November 10th. So that's when this started the research. Now, it says it's getting extensive reshoots after cutting major scenes. Now, here's my thought on this: is they're cutting this stuff out. They were going to tie in from Marvels and things in that direction, and now they have to go a new direction.
Could be,
I think that's why they delayed it by almost a year. So now with Kang, pretty much they're done with that. It sounds like they're going a whole new direction. So I think they're having to kind of do a lot of the movie. And
that's a good point.
So
if they're doing a pivot,
pivot. But I think that's my reading into it, because we know what's happened. I mean, everything from Marvel's bombed this year.
Everything from Marvel's for 2.5 years has bombed.
Right. So really, since this whole phase is bombed. Yeah. So if they go, it's like, okay, we're already filming Captain America. I mean, and like I said, I love him as Captain America. I think it's a great way to segue away from the Chris Evans, get a new Captain America. They call it Brave New World. It's a great way this would be the launching path to establish a much better direction. And they're going to have to get rid of Kane. They're going to have to deal with what they're going here. And in reality, it should be just a smaller story contained here on Earth in one zone, not multiple dimensions. And then towards the end, they could tie in the next step, which would be like introducing him to Reed Richards, bringing
There we go. I got it. Feige, send Brett and I a check for $2 million each. We'll fix your whole universe. The opening scene has to do with returning the stones. And at the moment the stone is placed, it kills the multiverse. Everything resets to the end. Actually, you can reset everything to Falcon and Winter Soldier.
Yeah,
there you go. That's that set up the new Captain America, the Falcon, set him up perfectly. Return everything to that moment. Pretend like everything since Falcon and Winter Soldier never happened, and just move forward. Stop acknowledging it. Don't just go. And now you have a great Captain America movie. Anthony Mackie is perfect to carry the mantle of Steve Rogers.
Yep.
It's all set. Just stop tinkering.
Yeah, and that's the whole thing. So it's they you read who's in this. I mean, this has they have Harrison Ford as Thaddeus Thunderbolt Ross, Liv Tyler's Betty Ross. So they have some of this other stuff in there, and I think a lot of that's going to be kind of glossed over some way too. So I think it's just they're doing this is going to be a hard reboot for the whole Marvel thing.
And then you can even, as part of the reboot, there's a flaw in the reboot, and mutants somehow got introduced into the universe.
Well, see, and they could do all these intros through the whole thing.
Yeah,
and they could be soft intros too.
Yeah.
Now, of course, they got Deadpool 3 been going through some reshoots as well. Well, they had to finish it, but they're finishing it. But it's slated to come out too, and it's going to be something that I think is also going to tie in. And I could see them using that as a way to wipe out all that crap too.
Did you see? Ryan Reynolds is speaking out about all the announcements of the cameos, but Carl Urban is going to play a variant of Wolverine.
Yeah,
he'll be a good Wolverine.
Yeah, and that's I did
basically
see
he's Butcher with claws.
I did see where Ryan Reynolds came out and said, "Hey, we need to stop these releases." I mean, I don't like them either. I hate when they announce stuff that should be surprises.
Mm-hmm.
These are things like I want to wait to when you show up. It's like, oh my god, and it's like there's this
great example. Free Guy.
Yeah.
The moment when the Captain America shield comes out and then he turns on the lightsaber and the Star Wars music goes on. It was an awesome moment because it was so unexpected. Had they released that 6 months in advance?
Yeah. The best thing was
is going to be doing a cameo.
Yeah, and that was the best thing to see him spit and swear and like, what is this?
Right.
But yeah,
So
that was the thing. It's just too many, and this is a DC problem that is spilled over to other ones. Is they want to release all this information ahead of time. It's like that's not going to draw people in. You just told me everything. There's no surprises.
it's too
And
much.
I want to be. I want to be when I go to these movies, especially on premiere nights. When I go to them, I want to be surprised. It's like the Avengers. That first Avengers was the best one. Nobody knew about Thanos. Nobody knew about the extra bonus scene at the end of the credits where they're eating shawarma. It was all that stuff. Those two things came out. I mean, the shawarma one was done that week, and fortunately with digital technology, they could add it real quick. But but yeah, with the whole Thanos thing, it was funny because people were like, "Oh my god!" It was like everybody in the theater went nuts because nobody.
And it started a whole new chain. How many times did you see shawarma shops? Now we have shawarma shops everywhere.
Well, we're in Southeast Michigan. We've had them for years. So
I never heard of shawarma until that movie. And then I went out and had shawarma.
Yeah, I knew about it for decades because of all the Mediterranean and Middle Eastern places. So
no, but I mean outside it'll say shawarma now instead of the name of the company.
Well, yeah, there's a lot of places actually. Yeah, we have a shawarma up the road here. I've never been to, but all the Mediterranean, Middle Eastern places all had shawarma on their outside banners, just not as the name of the company. So,
and then they also changed movie going because now every single movie we go to, we have to sit there and go, do we have to sit through the credits or not?
Well, see, and I always did because I like the credits, but there was also stuff from long before. I remember going to see Grumpy Old Men. And you get to the end of the credits, and then there's Walter Matthau in the bathtub going, if I knew there was going to be a nude scene, I'd ask for another million, which was hilarious. And nobody saw it because everybody left. So, but
that's good.
Yeah. The only time I leave now is because I've hit a certain age where I will Google and see if there's bonus scenes. Because if I have to pee, I want to go pee.
Right. Yeah, I do. That's a regular thing now for me is to double check Google. Are there post or mid credit scenes?
Yeah. So I can go pee.
Yeah.
So, hey, let's do a little side thing here. Our good friend Dominic Reggio has launched his Kickstarter. And you got 33 days to go. This is great. It's about the life of Darren McCarty, local Red Wings legend.
Yep.
And for those of you that are going to think about supporting it, I would do it this week because if you do it, then everybody that gets till 4:20 p.m. on Friday, the 15th, they get a Seasons Beatings card signed by Darren McCarty himself.
That's awesome.
So it's 180 pages, full color graphic novel. Gives the entire life story of the 4-time Stanley Cup winner, Darren McCarty. I think if you're a sports fan, it'd be fun. I mean, just a great comic adaptation of somebody's life. I enjoy stuff like that. Doesn't matter what the genre is. I like reading about different people like that. You can see some of the artwork here, things like that. So Dominic does some great storytelling, and this is another foray into using a real life person in comics. So
so it's officially licensed through Darren McCarty, just like his Rowdy Piper book. That's licensed through the estate of Rowdy Piper, and he works with Roddy's wife, not ex-wife, but
late wife.
Late wife. Thank you.
Well, his widow.
Thank you. So he works with her to tell his story that he wanted told.
Yep.
So Dominic does a great job. And then he has all these awesome jerseys too.
Yeah, and that's kind of the thing. We're going to cover this real quick. Is you can get the graphic novel for 25. Triple sign for 40 is you get both Dominic, you get Mariquin, that's the two workers on it, as well as Darren McCarty signs. So for $40, I mean, heck, you can't go to a show and get an autograph from Darren McCarty for $40. This you're getting the comic and 3 autographs. Yeah. For 55, you can get that shirt that says "Game Over," as well as the book signed. And then they got his Burnaby Blazers, which is McCarty's fictional team in Dominic's hockey comic series that he does.
And we've seen these shirts firsthand. They're quality. They're not cheaply made. These are high quality hockey jerseys he does.
Yeah, and the 125 is what he sells for them at the shows too. So that's pretty cool on that. And then of course you can get 150, you get the jersey and the signed book. $200, you get the jersey, you get 2 of the novels, a hockey puck, t-shirt. So a lot of cool stuff. There's original art pages available. If you got $1,000, you can have dinner with Darren McCarty plus all the fun stuff there.
That's a big pizza.
Yeah. It's a Detroit pizza, man.
Look at that.
So, and then there's stretch goals. So once they get up to that 16,000, then every book comes with an exclusive book plate, signed by writer Dominic Reggio after 17,000, and then so on and so forth.
Nice.
So a lot of cool stuff here. Whalebacker is gonna be
Is
fulfilling
that
all
like
their
backer
stuff.
kit?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think it's like that. Um,
I'll have
so
to look them up.
it's yeah, so a lot of cool stuff. I mean, here's the thing: I see 3 backers did $1. How cheap? Get that pledge up. Digital, it's fine. Now it's $10. Do the $25 for the book. Do the standard one. It's, if you're interested in something like that. So 180 pages, and this will get you primed and ready and knowing how to use Kickstarter for when we get ready to launch Crimson Shadows, the collection, coming up here in the next month or so. Scott's got some preview copies. We've been working hard on that. He's going to show that off right now.
The Crimson Shadows.
Yep.
Yeah. So we got our artist proof copy in. We have a couple different printing companies we're going to be doing, but look at this. It's 200 pages of content, of story and content. We have 28 pages of bonus story. That's a whole nother comic book issue of bonus story. So it combines issues 1 through 4 of Crimson Shadows, plus that 28 pages of bonus story that's never been told. And then we have like roughly another 33 pages of bonus content at the back showing like the concept sketches of the characters, the timelines of the universe and different things like that. An art gallery. We have a true facts section that shows what parts of the stories are actual historical people and facts and dates and locations and stuff. And then the cover gallery. So there's a lot of content in here that even if you have the other 4 issues, there's a lot in here that has never been published before.
Yeah, so, and if you're, like I said, if you like the story, or if you haven't read it, it's a great way to get into it. But think about it: 200 pages is like 8 individual comics, really, on the standard comics. Being an independent company, we said, hey, we're going to tell the story we needed to each issue.
And look how thick that is.
And then Scott was like, hey, I gotta fill in some gaps here. That needs a little more fleshing out. So it's a great trade.
Yeah, and we're gonna have 4 different covers for the paperback version. So Brett's got a cover he's doing, Kevin, and then I have this is gonna be my main cover, and then I also have an homage cover that is based upon the Captain America Annual number 8 that Mike Zeck did. That's iconic. It was Wolverine fighting Captain America. I have Dracula fighting in there, so it's a really cool. So we got 4 covers for the paperback, and then we have a different cover for the hardcover version that we're doing that Kevin designed, and I really love the design he did. So that will be for the hardcover version. And then depending on the stretch goals, as we hit more, I'm going to do upgrades to the paper quality in the book, the stitching quality. We have an embossment we want to do on the hardcover. So as we hit different levels, I can add more and more cool features. Hopefully we'll hit the level that I can do a slip cover too, that these can slide into to help protect the books even further. So
yeah, we'll be doing we'll talk about this on one of the next couple weeks here. We'll have a preview page set up and get ready to launch sometime, I think in February.
I think it's the very end of December, and it'll be going through February. The preview page is in for review right now from Kickstarter. They said I should have an answer by tomorrow. So hopefully after tomorrow, I'll actually have the preview launch page up that people can hit notify me on launch. So you won't forget. So we got a lot of really cool stuff here. I can't wait till everyone sees the book firsthand. It's impressive. I gotta say, I got like goosebumps because it's like we've been working so hard on this for
almost 4 years.
Yeah, almost 4 now. And it's like, to see the culmination come together like that is really cool.
Yeah. And I'm working on the cover myself. I haven't done a lot of work yet. I've been doing the basic what I need to do because I've been traveling and working a lot. But yeah, there's the next couple weeks here I'll be working on that. So we'll get that up. I'll be doing the penciling on that, and then Kevin's gonna do the inks and colors for that cover there.
Yeah, so
it'll be fun.
Really awesome.
Yeah. So a lot of cool stuff there.
Sure.
Yeah. So have you watched the 2nd season of the Santa Clauses?
No, I have not seen that yet. I saw the 1st season. I enjoyed it.
Okay.
But not the 2nd. How about you?
I'll wait till you've seen it and we'll talk about it then. I don't want to get too much stuff on that. No spoilers here.
I doubt I'll have it watched by next week.
Yeah, that's fine.
We want to talk about it before Christmas, but
no, we can talk about it whenever. It's just a review of it and that. So
do you have a spoiler-free review?
No.
I have a feeling that means you didn't care for it. Season one.
I enjoyed.
I enjoyed, but felt it should have been a movie instead of a season.
Same thing with this one here.
Yeah, that's what I was assuming was going to happen.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it lost its magic.
Yeah,
and
I felt like season 1 was kind of that way. I enjoyed it enough, and actually, it's probably part of why I haven't watched season 2 yet. Is I just wasn't thrilled with season 1,
and it's only 6 episodes, so it goes pretty quick.
Okay.
Yeah,
don't they have is this like a multiverse Santa or something? Like they have different versions.
At the end of the first season, they had they showed all the different Santas. It wasn't multiverse; it was just different Santas throughout the years.
Oh yes.
This one here, the premise is there's this Santa that was kind of almost like a tough evil Santa from like the Middle Ages or something like that, Magnus Santa or something like that, and he was turned into a nutcracker, and of course he had aligned himself with the gnomes, who are evil and hate elves. So it should have been a 90-minute movie at most.
Right.
And that, because the things I alluded to, I thought they were going to try to do, they didn't do, which was fine. But Gabriel Iglesias in it, comic Fluffy. And it was just okay. It's all over the place.
Was Bernard back?
No.
Okay.
He's mentioned though. They have they did give a reason. I won't mention this. In this of why certain elves disappeared. So why we don't see Bernard or his
last
predecessor.
Season, didn't Bernard decide to become human or something, and that's why he aged?
Yes, and that's why they dealt with that, but they go off on, they have their own form of the Amish Rumspringer called Cribble Crabble. So
okay.
Yeah, that's it. The whole story again should have been just condensed down, and I don't know. It's just they're trying to go in all these directions and then bring it right back to just like.
I think it's an example of a lot of these things. Streaming was new, and quantity became more important than quality. And things that were great movie concepts, I think, got stretched out into these series so that they had content, and they're hurting the quality. Now, one thing I did like the quality of. Is I got caught up on the Lawman, Bass Reeves.
Oh yeah, the season finale will be on Sunday coming up.
Yeah, they're doing weekly releases, so I think I might be behind one episode now. I think I saw 4 episodes so far.
You're about 2 behind, I think, 2 or
maybe
3.
2 then. Okay, I was caught up when I watched it, but I'm really liking that. That's an enjoyable one. I like the progression of the character.
Yeah, I have a feeling though the way it's kind of going, and I don't think it's a spoiler, is it may be a one and done season.
Okay.
It's a mini series, they're calling it. So I think it might be because it's kind of covered a lot of his life through this point, and they're jumping even within the episode. It's still jumping months and years ahead. So
right, okay. Well, I'm liking it. So I look forward to seeing these remaining episodes.
8 total episodes.
Okay, so I got through half.
Yeah, so I like it a lot. Yeah, that's well worth watching. I like that on Paramount.
I like the actor who plays him too. I don't know, was he in other stuff? Is he an unknown?
No, I think he's been around for a little bit.
Has he?
Let me see what he's been in. David Oyelowo. I'm bad at pronouncing his name.
I don't.
He's been around for a little while here, though. So he was in Selma. He played Martin Luther King. That was 2014. I think that was one of his biggest debuts. He did Silo, which is a new TV series I'm not familiar with. That's from 2023 here. The day after. He's got a lot going on right now. So yeah, he's got 89 actor credits. So he's been around for a while. He was on 8 episodes of the show The Prophecy. So a lot of TV shows. He did Peter Rabbit 2, The Runaway. He was Nigel Basil Jones. So he must be British. Okay. And let me see. A bunch of this unknown stuff. Something called Home Movie, The Princess Bride. So it must be the animated cartoon. He played actually the Prince Humperdinck character.
Okay.
So his voice acting. He did the TV miniseries of Les Miserables. He was Javert. Star Wars Rebels. He was Agent Callus. So.
Oh, he did the voice for him?
Yep.
Interesting. Very cool.
And then A Wrinkle in Time, he was the It voice, that movie that I didn't see because it looked horrible. He's got a pretty good resume. He's a bunch of stuff here and there.
So I do have a theory about this series, though.
Yeah.
After you said what you said, it made me think this. So you're saying it feels like a one and done.
Yeah.
But if you look at the title, it's Lawmen,
Bass Reeves.
So I wonder if each season will focus on a different iconic lawman
I
from history.
I thought that myself, and I could see that. It's
Like you could get into the Untouchables era,
yeah,
and you could do all different time frames.
yeah. It doesn't have to be just westerns,
Right.
but there's a lot they could cover from that era alone. But yeah, I could see that,
That
and
would be cool.
I think that'd be a smart way to go. And like I said, they're calling it a mini series, so that way they
Mhm.
can do other stuff. Almost like what was it, that American Horror Story? Each season's a completely different season, though they may use some of the same actors. So
I got Jill sitting here. She's a baller. She
yeah.
she there she is there. She's got her free we have these free like slot machine apps. So you just earn fake money. But she's got like $10 billion now in her. So she's like sitting there making like signs like she's making big money. Because she just made like $1 billion.
Yeah.
She said I'm kind of a big deal.
Okay.
So you might see she's got her Christmas sweater going.
Yeah.
We have we in our office today. As soon as I get off of here, I got to get in there. 11 o'clock, we start our office Christmas party.
Okay.
So that's what we're doing. So
yeah. Well, we'll get moving on here. Did you get a chance to see the Netflix movie Family Switch?
I don't have Netflix.
Oh, that's right. You don't have that.
So no, I don't.
Well, I'll give a quick spoiler for your review.
I am thinking about signing back up briefly though, because I do want to see The Crown season 5.
Yeah, it's it's Freaky Friday, but it was done fun. It's a fun watch. Nice Christmassy. I like Jennifer Garner. She's great. They have Ed Helm in it. The kids were really good when they did the switch. The best part, though, and this is a spoiler they gave away early on, is when they do the switch, the baby and the dog switch.
Oh my god!
And that actually kind of was the funniest thing, because if you got the dog sitting on the little training potty, like he's a kid, and you hear him peeing in it, and then he comes up to the guy that's watching them while they're the parents and the kids are trying to figure out stuff, and wants a diaper put on. So he's putting the diaper on the dog with a pacifier in his mouth, with his head laying to the side, and then the kid's just running around chasing stuff and wanting treats. So it was good.
One I was thinking about watching too is Eddie Murphy has that Candy Cane Lane on Amazon Prime, I believe.
Yeah, I haven't watched that yet, but
checking that out.
Yeah, I was gonna check that out this week myself. That looks fun. I did also watch on Netflix Leo. That's the Adam Sandler animated film.
Oh, okay.
With him and Bill Burr, the main two. Robert Smigel was one of the writers. Adam Sandler wrote on it. Paul Sato. And then you got a whole list of people that were in it. Jason Alexander was in it. Rob Schneider, Allison Strong, a lot of stuff, and a bunch of kids that play the kids. It was cute. It was fun. I mean, you got a lizard that reveals to the kids each individually that he can talk, and then he starts helping them with their problems. And he's worried that he's going to die because he's heard someone say that he turned 75 that lizards die, and he's about to turn 75. So. But it's a cute little cartoon. So if you get a chance to watch that on Netflix, it's fun too.
I got to give a shout out for one of Jill's favorite Christmas things, though, too, is Prep and Landing. And I know you like that too. And that's on Disney Plus as well.
Yeah, I watched that the other day again. I watch that every year a few times. I love that. That's one I wish they would have done a few more of. It
was a fun little dynamic in little world they created.
Now there is 3 on Disney Plus. You got the 2 main episodes, then they have a short, like 5-10 minute episode they did. Where they help Mrs. Claus with a present for Santa.
Yes, that's it. Delivering the present. We've watched all 3 Prep and Landings, right, Jill? Yeah.
Yeah, because the one is just where it's about finding getting the present to
Santa. Sneak past all of the security measures.
Yeah, it was getting Santa the first toy is what it was. So, but they're fun. I like those. It's funny. It's one of those things. They come out with the second one. It's like, okay, what can they do now? They introduce the younger brothers, the bigger brothers, also a coal elf.
Yeah,
it is saying a jingle Pam. I do like the fact he shows us his thing for putting the kids to sleep. He goes, "Oh, I got a little bit of sweet dreams here," and he's got this big gun going.
Yep.
But yeah, I think Prep and Landing was something that Disney should have continued on more with. I think would have been fun.
It definitely had the legs. I think if they had put the time to develop it and market it, I think they definitely could have turned that into a big annual thing.
They still show it. ABC will show it. They pops up on the different things, but yeah, I like all the classic stuff, but definitely Prep and Landing fits in with all the classic Christmas stuff for me now. So
yeah,
a lot of fun on that. And then other than that, I haven't really watched what I did. What else? Yeah, Leo. Yeah. I did start watching. It's on Netflix again. It's a Showtime series. I have to find it here. It's about the rise of Uber,
Oh,
and and it stars Joseph Gordon-Levitt. So uh,
interesting.
I find that they're doing a lot of these different ones. I've seen one on Spotify, which is done overseas, uh, and that. So and this is kind of like it's called Super Pumped. That's what it is. And Kyle Chandler's in it. And you've got Joseph Gordon-Levitt plays the main guy that helped create Uber, who's no longer with them. I looked it up, and that. So it's a one-time season of episodes. I think there's like 6 or 7. 7, yeah, totally. It's pretty good so far. It's kind of interesting to see how it's progressed so far through the first couple episodes. I still got more to watch. But it reminds me a little bit like that Spotify stuff. You basically get in the history of it. They can deal episode to episode, and a little like the Social Network, but not so much of the hard drama over 2 hours.
Yeah.
So
What I don't understand about Uber, I'll be brief. They never make money. Like in 2020, they lost 6.8 billion is what they lost. In 2019, they lost 8.5 billion. Like every year they lose insane amounts of money. How do you lose billions every year and still thrive?
well, it's that's all accounting. Should know that as an accountant. It's
They must play the slot games and win the 10 billion that Jill won.
well, I mean, you got to look at their market capitalization, so how much they're worth for and all that stuff. Well, it's gone down a little bit recently. It's not much. They're still worth $127 billion.
Right.
It's just like they kind of probably doing the same thing that Amazon did for many, many years is, oh, well, we lost X because they're able to write off so much and make it look like a negative. So they're basically not paying the taxes and stuff like that.
True.
But yeah, it's I
interesting.
understand. But it's just like, you got Uber and Lyft, and we used Uber to get to our where we were staying at last week, and Lyft to get back because one was cheaper than the other at different times. So, and that's one thing I always look at is check to see which one's cheaper when I'm using them, the ride share services and that. But it was Uber that coined the term ride sharing, and they got away from. They were called. I didn't realize this because I'd never paid attention before. They were called Uber Cab when they started. And they were in San Francisco. That was their first place, and of course they had to fight the local, government and everything else who regulated cabs and the medallions and things like that. So,
right.
But yeah, it's been an interesting series on that. And other than that, I haven't really watched a whole lot of other stuff. So, I listened to the Lions lose the other night, which I'm a little disappointed in that. I did watch Mahomes have his meltdown after the Chiefs lost.
Which is funny that people are calling that out quite a bit. They were crying about the offsides call, and they're able to prove that they were offsides. And not only that, there should have been another call for improperly illegal formation.
Well, the one thing is this, though, and I saw this too, and it's not being talked about as much, is they showed where the player that was called offsides looked to the ref for confirmation he was where the line was. And the ref gave him confirmation, but then called him offsides. So that's that's where
that's what they're crying about.
That's what Mahomes was mad about, was the ref, said one thing and did another. And it cost them a really cool play because you had Kelsey, Mr. Swift, throw the ball back to the guy and they got a touchdown. It was pretty good.
Right.
Of course, it's now sparked all these new memes where you got Taylor Swift sitting there not looking happy, and everybody's saying, "Oh, Taylor's writing her new
song."
Yeah.
Yep, he's gonna be a loser now.
Yeah, he's not going to win the championship, which I don't think they were going to do that anyways. But losing the game though actually has hurt them because being 8-5, all these other teams that were losing earlier are now winning, and you've got like other teams like the Lions, the others are starting to lose. I mean, heck, even the Eagles have lost some. So the whole right now where the playoffs are, there's a bunch of teams that moved up and some will come down. So they're getting pretty good. It's going to be tight. And the Lions, they have to, one is they got to beat Minnesota at least once, but they got 4 more games. They've got to win. They can't be losing like they did this past week to teams like the Bears. And whatever they're doing, they can't, otherwise they're not going to make the playoffs.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. It'll be a melt. They got everybody's hopes up all season, so there will be massive backlash if they don't.
I will say this: what's different than years before, though, still is we have a coach and we have a quarterback coming out saying we screwed up. we're working to fix it.
Yeah, I don't want to get too deep on Lions, but the Jared Goff of the last 5 or 6 weeks is not the Jared Goff of the first 10 weeks or whatever it was, 8
Yeah.
weeks.
No, really going back
Something's
to last
different.
season. Yeah.
I've heard some people point out too. I don't know. I don't watch it close enough to know if it's true, but they're pointing out he's been wearing a glove the last few weeks. So they're speculating, is his hand injured? And that's why he's now throwing, interceptions and fumbling and, different things like that. Because I guess he didn't wear a glove in the first half of the season.
Right.
So I don't know.
And that could be,
because he seems different.
And yeah, he does. He doesn't seem like he's playing the same. But even, Aiden Hutchinson, he started off really strong and now he's not playing up to something. So something's going on there. And it could be definitely some injuries and things like that. And you've got players that they don't want to. I'll use Stafford in this one. They don't want to call a Stafford going, oh, I got a pinky nail, so I'm going to take a week off.
Right.
And and this time of year, this is what Stafford, he's even done with the Rams. He's now back playing and winning with them, but they're not playing harder teams. Yeah. So, but.
Well, they must win this week.
Yes.
Yeah, if they don't, there's going to be, because Lions fans are used to bad seasons, but this year all the hopes skyrocketed. Yeah. So if they backslide back to SOL, same old Lions, there's going to be people are going to have pitchforks.
Yep, definitely.
So, but I got to get going here.
All right,
college show. So I'm gonna slip out.
Oh, we're just to say goodbye. So hey, you guys have a good one, Scott. I'll talk to you sometime later.
All right, take care.
All right, bye.